section 7. So last part in this scenario. So the data in the table below gives the arm span and height in inches for all 11 men. So talk about arm span, so from tip to tip, and the height of the person itself. Okay, so here's arm span and height. Now, again, given back to a XY plane, this is considered the x-axis, correct? And this is considered the y-axis. So therefore, from there, which is going to be our x and y? Hopefully say this is x and this is y, because this is the x scale, y scale, right? So that's another way they can tell you which is going to be x and y. So from here we know this is x and that is y based off that. Okay. All right, so it looks like the same exact thing. We want predicted and all that fun stuff. However, it looks like they don't give us a regression line, right? So which means we actually have to find it ourselves. Okay. So I'll give you guys a quick minute to slowly get that. So go ahead and pause the video. So go ahead and find your regression line and round to 2 decimal places. So I'll give you a quick 3, 2, 1 pause and go for it. Okay. So hopefully you guys got roughly this. So if you're a little off, don't worry. It's just how you round it. So I rounded to 3 decimal places. So since I want to, this is perfectly fine. Roughly that. Okay. And now the same thing happens, right? So we want to find the predicted and the residual, which is our error. So we're going to plug in x, all of these x's into here, and put them there, and then subtract them. So see if you guys can do it faster than me. A little race, huh? All right, hopefully you guys got those. And the last step we're going to do before we go on to step B and C, which is a little easier, is literally subtracting, right? Find the residual. So now we subtract straight across, right? Always observed minus predicted. So y minus y hat. So that was my dogs, if you guys heard them. They're just being a little grumpy because they haven't gone on their walk yet. So they're being all brown your pants. So just like kids, they also throw tantrums, which I think they're doing right now with me. Okay. So I'm just going to stop there. I'm pretty sure you guys get the gist of what you guys got to do for the rest of them. And I'm just going to finish the page off here. So use your regression model to complete the table. So that's what we did, right? Use a regression model. That's what we did here. C is what is the slope and what does it mean? So our slope is 0.74, right? So the question is, what does that mean to our data set? So observe is white, observe minus span, wingspan. So what that's saying is, again, if we make this line over here, what our slope means is, so the slope means for every centimeter in arm span, the height of that person is 0.74 inches. So for every inch your arm span becomes, you multiply by 0.74, and that can predict what your height's going to be. So if that makes a little more sense of what I wrote down. Okay. And now we're not going to interpret every residual. We're just going to interpret a couple so you guys can see what I put. So I'm just going to pick the first one. There. Okay. So let's interpret that residual. So let's interpret negative 2.71. Okay. Now, remember, when it comes to interpretation, we want two things. Is it positive, negative, or zero? In this case, it's negative, correct? So it's below average. The question is, what is below average? So that corresponds to the y value. So the y value of that is 162, right? The height. So what they're saying is the value of 162 centimeters height, because we're talking about height for the y, is below average. So for this respective wingspan, arm span, this is actually below average at what you should see. Does that make sense? And you keep going down the list. So let's say let's actually do one of these, make these positive. So I'm going to do the last one as well. So 162 minus 161.01. That gives us 0.99. So definitely positive. Okay, so we'll just do the last one as well. So again, we'll interpret the last one, 0.99. So the interpretation is the value. Now again, always go to the y variable. So the value of, now what was the height? Because that's the y value of 162 centimeters height is, now since it's positive, right? The residual is positive, is above average. Meaning, because this person has a wingspan of 150, arm span of 156, the height of 162 is above what you expect to happen, since the residual is positive. Okay. All right, and that finishes up these two sections. So regression line and regression models, and that's it for there.